So, Peter, yes, I'm Andres. I'm from Chile. I'm a big fan of your music. I have Helium here right there on vinyl.
Thank you.
So, yeah, we are excited about your show you're going to give in next month. So, I have a few questions. So, right off the bat, I want to start talking about the records you released last year. So, uh, you released two albums, each with its own distinctive sound, in my opinion. How did you manage to maintain such a creative diversity?
Well, they were made pretty far apart. Horsie was made a decent amount before CD Wallet.
Mm.
It took a while to make. And then it was like, I don't know, months were going past and we were trying to find a good situation for releasing it because I'd moved on from my previous record label. And so that was taking kind of a long time and I was getting impatient, so I made a rock album.
Cool. Yeah, it's clear that you release music pretty frequently, and always you find a way to reinvent yourself. What's your approach to avoid feeling like burned out or frustrated during the creative process of finding an idea?
Um, I don't think it's frustrating. It's fun. It can be difficult at times, like if you have a lot of drive or like desire to make something and it's just not working. But I feel like when I was a teenager, I kind of figured out that you just have to give it a little space and then it'll come to you. And I guess, I don't know, it's like my favorite thing to do. I spend a lot of time in this room, recording and writing and stuff. So, uh, yeah, I don't know. Burnout, writer's block, these things don't really bother me very much.
Cool, great to hear that. Well, you mentioned that jazz has always been a big part of your life, but however, in CD Wallet seems to have a different vibe. So, was there any particular band that inspired this album?
I mean, it was mostly made kind of, it wasn't super specific. My like, I guess specific conceptual approach was making something that I would have liked when I was a teenager, pavement and indie rock and I don't know, like heavier stuff.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, especially like sort of, I don't know, like my mid late teens. And so I was sort of coming at it from that approach. I would also, yeah, say that I was at the time, like before I started recording it, I was listening to a lot of codeine
yeah,
and like, yeah, stuff like that.
yeah, like slowcore or slagger bands like Payment you
Yeah.
mentioned, Coding. Cool.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, that's always kind of cut through the work, but yeah, I don't know. I just felt like playing something heavier.
Great.
Um,
Do you
yeah.
think maybe well, that heavy sound can be like, can we hear it again in another record? Will be like another CD wallet soon, or just like
Um,
mix of something?
the thing I've been working on lately is sounds nothing like CD Wallet or Horsey.
Oh, is it
Yeah.
something completely new, or what? How would
Yeah,
you
I mean,
describe it?
I'm always working on another one, but I don't know. It's just another different approach, I guess. We'll see how it turns out.
Great. Happy to hear that.
Mhm.
Well, there's also a video on YouTube accompanying this album, showing a CD playing in a band while someone smokes. Were there any CDs on you couldn't stop listening to in your car at any time of your life?
I mean, I guess one of the themes on that record is that I never learned how to drive until a couple years ago.
Well, Yeah.
which was very strange where I grew up. It's like a sprawling sort of suburban, freezing cold city.
Mm,
So I just spent a lot of time on buses with my CD player and my
cool.
CD wallet full of CDs. There's a lot of I don't know. I guess it was like I was probably at that point still listening to a lot of like Corn and
Mm,
I don't
yeah.
know, like new metal and Deftones.
And now switching to the visual side, I'd like to hear your thoughts about the passing of David Lynch. What impact do you think he had on your career, or would you say he was an important influence?
Yeah. I mean, when I was I don't know, maybe I first saw Twin Peaks when I was like 20
Mm,
or 21 or something, and yeah, I had never seen anything like it. It definitely changed my life, and I've been a huge fan of his. I've always appreciated his work a lot. Mulholland Drive is like probably my favorite movie. Um, yeah, I was really sad uh, to hear it, especially knowing that like he had other projects that he wanted to finish, but he wasn't getting funding for. That was a bit
yeah.
of a frustrating thing. Yeah, I mean, he just sort of tapped into a sort of feeling and understanding of the world and America, like the US specifically, that I don't think had really been shown really to people before. And that's
Mm,
why like the term lynching
yeah.
is so like synonymous now, is because everybody knows exactly what it means because it's a very real thing.
Hmm.
And it's not like it's not like a thing that he invented, it's like a thing that he saw and like showed us all. And
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, yeah, I love him.
Great. Yeah, I can see that. So, well, yeah, it was a truly sad news for everybody. Um, well, I have a couple more. Well, a lot of people think that to make music, you have to require like a high-end studio, a top-notch instrument. However, you've shown that I don't know, like uh, you don't need that much of high-quality equipment or studio. I can see that you have all your instruments in. Well, I don't know if that's your bedroom or
That's my studio, yeah.
yeah, studio room. Cool. Well, it's at your own place. So, what advice would you give to those that are starting just to music and think that they need like, well, I don't know, a cool guitar or a cool synthesizer? What do you think about
Um, yeah, I mean, it's all snake oil.
that?
And I have a lot of snake oil in here too. Like obviously I love sound.
Hmm,
So, I have a lot of things that make sound, but like creatively, these things are not required, not even that useful most of the time.
hmm,
Um, you'll get to like I think when you're starting, I think it's important to know that it's not necessary. Um, if it becomes something that you want to continue doing, like you'll seek it out naturally, like what you feel like you want to have. But I mean, when I first started recording um, like stuff by myself, uh, when I was like, I don't know, like 17 maybe was when I first started like doing home recordings. I had like a little Zoom 4-track digital recorder. It sounded like awful. I thought that was sick at the time though. And I had like a drum set that my friend had given me, and I had a $400 guitar.
hmm,
Um, my dad he was a recording engineer, like by
yeah.
trade back then. So there was stuff around the house, but I didn't know how any of it worked, and I was not interested in it at all.
Yeah.
Like it took me a long time to be at all interested in recording.
Yeah.
I just kind of wanted to be loud
Mm.
and like make sounds. But yeah, I had like one microphone. Everything sounded awful. It didn't really matter though.
Mm.
And yeah, I don't know. Can't get bogged down in
Mm.
useless details.
Yeah. If you can tell, I don't know, like, at what age do you think you just knew how to produce and make sounds, make the music sounds good or great?
When did I figure it out?
Yeah.
I never did.
Well, I think your stuff that sounds well, especially on vinyl, sounds excellent. So I really like it.
Well, I mean, the first three records were recorded in a studio with friends of mine.
Okay.
It was only starting from Helium actually that I started recording in my bedroom, and
Oh.
you send that stuff to a mastering engineer, he knows what to do.
Yeah, he'll do the work.
Yeah.
All right. So yeah, I want to change the subject now to the shows you are going to give next month. But first, I want to talk about the first time you were in Chile. I think it was around 2017. But you mentioned in a Reddit, Ask Me Anything, that you had a lot of I don't know, logistical problems. What kind of issues did you face back then, and how are you preparing or solving those problems to the upcoming tour?
Yeah, that tour was booked by some people who didn't put a whole lot of thought into travel.
Okay.
So it was like a lot of shows starting really late at night and then not going to bed and going to the airport at like 4 in the morning
Yeah.
and then arriving somewhere and having a sound check at like 9 a.m. So we just kind of didn't sleep for 2 weeks. I was like a wreck. I was on edge. I don't know. I was a mess.
Yeah,
Um,
I could imagine. Yeah.
but yeah, I don't know. This time we're just not doing it that way.
Great.
Like we're in more control. Like it's okay, it's a long time ago. You live and learn.
Mm,
I have really fond memories of our time in Chile, actually.
cool.
I really, because we just played a festival and I don't feel like festivals are a very good way to understand a place. I don't really like them very much.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm excited to, I'm excited to be back there.
Cool.
A really good friend of mine is from Santiago and she's always talking about how great it is. So I'm looking forward to it.
Cool. Well, that's great to hear. So I'm happy that you are arriving here with no logistical problems and everything's okay, under control.
Yeah. I mean, anytime you're traveling with lots of flights, something will go wrong. I'm sure we'll
Yeah,
figure it out.
yeah, I'm sure you will. So, well, yeah, now that you have more albums and songs compared to 2017, I think Fresh Air was just released back then. So, I don't know, you have like three more records, more, I think, or four. Can't remember well. Yeah,
Yeah,
uh,
four.
four, great. So, yeah, you have more songs. How the sale is gonna be? Um, I'm suppose you wanna play more of the newest stuff.
Yeah, well, you have to because you're touring to promote something.
Yeah,
It made making the set really difficult because it's two albums that sound very different, trying to fit them together.
yeah,
I was really we came to Toronto. We all lived separately, like in different cities. So when they all came here to rehearse, it took
yeah,
a few weeks, but we figured out a really good set list that I'm very proud of actually. Um, it's very diverse. It's got a lot of stuff from everything.
great.
Yeah.
By the way, do you tend to get bored easily of your own songs. It could be like listening to them or playing it live.
Yeah, basically as soon as it's released, I never listen to it again. I don't like it anymore.
Yeah.
But part of the reason for that is that um, when by the time it gets released, I've already moved on and I'm working on something else because like the
Yeah.
releases take like a really long time to put together. And I'm not like patient enough to just sit on one project and like concentrate on it all that time. So
Cool.
yeah.
So, well, yeah, you mentioned that you're already working on some stuff. Could maybe that be some hint or a single maybe release on this year?
No, I doubt it.
No.
I have
Next.
to I am like I'm mostly done writing it. I have to record vocals. But yeah, it like takes a long time. Earliest would probably be like next spring, I would assume or guess.
All right. Yeah.
But it'll be done like a year.
Great.
And then by the time it comes out, I'll be working on something else and not care about
Yeah. Well, so happy to hear that you're working on some new stuff. By the time it comes, I will surely listen to it. And yes, I will surely going to see your show at Santiago, Chile. So hope to see you there.
Cool. Thanks, man.
All right. Bye, Peter. I
Have a
have
good
to go. Thank you so much.
day.